Good afternoon, everybody. Dr. Patmos here with a very important video that I really want you to listen to and think about carefully. This has to be one of the most vile stories I've ever heard, but if you didn't hear it, today Politico released the transcripts of hundreds of text messages, I believe over 250 individuals who are members of the leadership of Young Republicans. Young Republicans is a national group of young people, many are college age and a little bit beyond, who are active politically all around the country. Young Republicans are very closely connected to the GOP and have strong support from J.D. Vance and President Trump and Charlie Kirk, for example, was very supportive of young Republicans. Well, Politico somehow got a hold of hundreds of text messages from within the Young Republicans leadership, and they are vile and disgusting, and they are linked below in the text below. These text messages praise Hitler, joke about putting people in gas chambers, have all sorts of racial and anti Semitic content. They're disgusting. When it was released, when this article was released today, there was a pretty big outcry against these individuals, and some have even in the Republican Party have demanded that these individuals who are named in this Politico article uh, should step down and be held accountable for this absolutely horrible hate speech, praising Hitler, praising gas chambers. Well, J.D. Vance today went on the Charlie Kirk show and defended and excused these young Republican text messages and comments, saying they were just overheated comments from young people, basically playing it down and saying that other Democrats have said much worse things than that. Well, this is really shocking because every day now we're seeing the normalization of outrage and atrocity, whether it's the indiscriminate rounding up of people who look like they're immigrants. That person looks like they're Mexican. Let's go beat them up and drag them off to Alligator Alcatraz. Whether it's that or whether it's having National Guard deployed against American citizens or Marines deployed on the streets of Los Angeles or Black Hawk helicopters hovering over apartment buildings in Chicago with soldiers rappelling down in the middle of the night, taking children and zip tying them out into the street. This is what's going on. And what we're seeing here is the normalization of atrocity, the normalization of wrongdoing, the normalization of very bad behavior. We're becoming numb to it. And for decades, historians and psychologists have wondered how this can happen. I remember learning in grade school, about the Holocaust, and the teacher asked the question: How can human beings become so insensitive and inhumane? How is it that a whole country of otherwise normal people slide into acceptance of genocide, acceptance of the Holocaust? How is it that people can become so used to atrocities that they look the other way and it seems almost like normalized behavior? Well, now we know why. Scientific American today published an article which is linked below in the text about what's called neuronal habituation. It turns out that the more you lie, and the more you do wrong things, the more you will lie, and the more you will do wrong things. The brain in functional MRI actually changes with your behavior. The amygdala, which is sort of like your conscience, diminishes the more you do wrong things. And so your brain learns how to become morally bankrupt. Interestingly, the converse is also true. The more you do good things, the more you act with integrity, the more you act with moral and ethical clarity and propriety, the more you will act morally and ethically properly. So wrongdoing begets wrongdoing neurologically, and the converse is also true. This concept is called neuronal habituation, and it leads to, or can lead to, ethical collapse. And that's what's happening. That's how countries can slide into Nazism. That's how the United States can slide into something awful. We're watching it play out before our very eyes. We're seeing it every day. The normalization of atrocity is now becoming ever more clear in the United States, and it has to be called out. It has to be stopped. We need to make sure that people realize what's happening, because we need to expose it, but we must also act with moral integrity and moral clarity, because that kind of behavior begets more of that kind of behavior. So I hope you found this interesting today. Think about it. Neuronal habituation begets moral collapse. We're watching it happen. Stop it.